NBC Thanksgiving Spectacular has saved the best for last. Hang on to your seats. Jurassic Park is next.
Okay, now that the show is finally back up and running, let's commence Season 12 with... No way. I hit 1,000 subscribers. And maybe a little extra in between here and then from the last video, but... wow. Thanks. I don't know what to say. I've been doing these videos since 2008 and never have achieved such an accomplishment like this before in such a while. I'm not one for speeches, so all I can say is, from the bottom of my heart, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. But you deserve something really extra. So instead of covering one movie, I'm gonna cover the whole franchise. Oh yeah! All June long, we're taking on the Jurassic Park trilogy and the Jurassic World trilogy. Welcome to Jurassic June on Vaulting. Depending on the decade you were born in, any generation is going to have that one film franchise they grew up seeing when it was being sent to theaters at the time. The 1970s, for example, had Star Wars, the 1980s had Indiana Jones, but for anyone growing up in the 1990s, hello, we had Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. Sure, there's other film franchises, but this one was very special given the cinematic footprint it left behind. It was smart, gave us memorable characters, and pushed the boundaries for what special effects could do to prove how awesome dinosaurs could be. Everyone has praised this movie to the never-ending end, and why not? It is the pure perfect definition of a popcorn flick, a good one at that, and a pure crowd pleaser nonetheless. When the movie was released in 1983, I was too young to see it, but I do remember owning some of the toys and books, merchandise licensed from it. At the time, I was big on dinosaurs. Oh, who am I kidding? It was the 1990s! Everybody was into dinosaurs, and we didn't know why. There were documentaries, direct-to-video movies, and the Jim Henson Company produced sitcom. I almost want to argue that last one might have had something to do with it. But why think about it? We were all dino crazy, and that's what mattered. It wouldn't be until I was around 5 when I eventually did see Jurassic Park on VHS. Even if parents were warned of how scary this movie could be, I never was frightened by this one. Part of me does wonder if maybe if it had something to do with being exposed to, say, The Land Before Time and all those dinosaur documentaries, including one narrated by Christopher Reeve. I knew it was all special effects, but I was so mesmerized by the awe and spectacle that I found myself having fun with it. On top of that, I just enjoy jungle adventures. Stuff like The Jungle Book, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and Congo summarize a big part of my childhood. But as I got older and eventually owned the first 2 movies on DVD, I really started to admire just how unique this feature is. If this movie was made today, chances are you'd probably have your dinosaurs in the forefront. But this one is very smart. It takes its time getting there, and raises a lot of unique questions and concepts and ideas that are rather thought-provoking to the audience. A thinking movie, if you will. What if we did have the ability to bring these extinct creatures back to life? Would there be some kind of moral benefit to it? And once those scientific questions get answered, we get treated to one hell of a thrill ride we will never forget. The premise is simple. Based on the novel by Michael Crichton, a rich tycoon named John Hammond offers a group of scientists the chance to review his latest attraction for safety purposes. Turns out, it's all about dinosaurs, brought back to life thanks to fossilized DNA and cloned with the best technology available. Hammond plans to use these creatures for a theme park attraction located on an island near the Costa Rica. At first, everyone is in wonder, but once they look behind the scenes and see how the park is run, things take a turn. Concerns are raised over how ethical the cloning method is and just what benefits can be gained from Hammond's idea. However, Mother Nature has other plans in the form of a hurricane, and the dinosaurs start to breed, despite best efforts from the staff trying to keep this under control. Along with the addition of human interference from a tech worker named Nedry, who is in it to help a rival company, does some damage to the park with a simple computer virus that messes with the security and power. With the security system off, dinosaurs run loose, and it becomes a fight for survival against giant meat eaters, clever raptors, and theories of chaos from Jeff Goldblum. It's funny to note how this movie carries similar threads to another Michael Crichton feature, Westworld, a theme park where people can interact with different time periods like the Old West or medieval times and Rome, while the characters they interact with are robots. In a strange way, if you took out the robots and replaced them with dinosaurs, you would almost get the same thing. The difference here is that Westworld commentates on the pure definition of human amusement. Jurassic Park takes one step further by asking if messing with nature for public amusement is morally sound. Both movies carry similar themes of Frankenstein qualities, and as much as I enjoy both, I feel the latter had a lot more material to play with. It's unique to see how interesting the human characters are equally to the special effects. Even as a kid, I was surprised to see just how engaged I was in their discussion for cloning theories, and if they are for the best. Scenes like these would come off as boring to me at a young age, but a lot of the things they discuss here are interesting. That debate in the lunchroom is the beating heart of the movie, and if it was cut, you'd be left with just an average summer blockbuster flick. What if we did bring back some long-gone creature, and how would we introduce them into a world unfamiliar with their own? Some people are doing that today, and it still makes me wonder if these creatures will adapt or succumb due to how the environment was different millions of years before our own. Even as an adult, I'm still listening and seeing how all these points are not one-sided. We even get an idea when they come across a sick triceratops that might have consumed some poisonous berries. Now in the novel, it goes into deeper detail revealing the triceratops got ill from consuming some stones for digestion near the berries, but again, this still proves a simple mishandling can go a very long way. Now, the one criticism I keep hearing a lot from other reviewers is how they feel the characters are a little too simply developed. Though I feel for a cast of characters this big, you don't need deep backstories or weird quirks to make them memorable. The key element here that provides them to be memorable are the performances.
Sam Neill as Alan Grant is identifiable by his love for dinosaurs and annoyance from children. We see that so perfectly set up in his introduction by seeing him wax over theories of velociraptors and witness his interest be challenged to that of a child's intellect.
And even the word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
What? How do you even know? You practically voiced one.
Unlike the novel where he was okay with kids, they do add on a reluctance to being around children as something of a character arc that I'm alright with. So when he's paired with Hammond's grandchildren on the test tour and things go wrong, he has to act as their protector and father figure to make sure they're safe.
What are you and Ellie gonna do now if you don't have to pick up dinosaur bones anymore?
I don't know, I guess. Guess we'll just have to evolve too.
Laura Dern is Ellie Stradler, a paleobotanist that is kind, but never afraid to speak her mind.
You have plants in this building that are poisonous. You pick them because they look good.
But these are aggressive living things that have no idea what century they're in, and they'll defend themselves.
I like how she's able to discuss her own thoughts and views without getting the sense of someone shutting her off. And she does raise some good points about bringing the dinosaurs back into a world that is foreign to them. This isn't just some cardboard cutout, and she gets to use her knowledge of plant life to help out at one point.
You're right. There's no trace of lilac berries. It's so odd, though.
Even in the second half, when she is placed in pure danger, Ellie finds a way to get out and avoids becoming a damsel in distress cliché. Jeff Goldblum practically steals the show as Ian Malcolm, a chaos theorist. I appreciate how they keep Goldblum to a pure minimum, but he's never afraid to show how much of a narcissist he is. This is someone with such a big ego that he uses his brains for fame.
Got any kids?
Me? Oh, hell yeah, 3. I love kids.
You married?
Occasionally. I'm always on the lookout for a future ex-Mrs. Malcolm.
Well, now at that rate, the fall of Rome will just repeat itself if you keep playing the gene pool game that way. I mean, imagine, if you will, a whole new generation of Ian Malcolm skateboarding home, just see the latest episode of Bluey on Disney+. Now that's chaos theory.
If you place this character with a different actor, say Bill Murray, you would get the same backbone, but be given a different take on the character altogether. Underneath that rock star look is someone who knows what he's saying, but would rather leisurely go through life and soak up the attention. And yeah, some of his quips still get good laughs from me.
What do they got in there, King Kong?
Ian.
Remind me to thank John for a lovely weekend.
When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked.
Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists.
Yet the one character I find myself relating to more is John Hammond, played by Richard Attenborough, who funds and builds the park. In the novel, he was a pure jerk that just wanted to profit off the island. Director Steven Spielberg changed that in the movie to make him more sympathetic, connecting to Hammond's obsession with showmanship. You do feel he wants to create something unique and world-changing, but still resorts to cheap methods. I guess bringing back the dinosaurs was a major expense, so of course he'd eat the cost by hiring an inexpensive crew. Even as a kid, the one scene that stuck with me was Hammond talking about how he used to run a flea circus in his early years, and compares that to what he wanted to do at Jurassic Park.
I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. An inn not devoid of merit.
It's such a haunting moment, and we too feel how we wanted to create something grand, but fall short of expectations, knowing not everything will come out perfect, no matter how hard we try. There's other characters along the way, like Bob Peck as Game Warden Robert Muldoon, Samuel Jackson as Chief Engineer Ray Arnold, and Wayne Knight as the backstabbing computer programmer Dennis Nedry. You don't just remember them for being plot elements, but just from their performances alone. These are some great talents that know how to bounce off each other as well as the other actors. You believe Muldoon because Bob Peck channels the way he studies the raptors. You get an idea how Arnold is unimpressed with the park's functions because Samuel Jackson knows how to deliver that feeling with his impatient tone and constant chain smoking. And you gotta love how Wayne Knight presents how flawed, but still how unexpected a guy in his state could steal a canister full of embryos. They do more than contribute to the story, but know how to make these people interesting while giving their own portrayal. That also goes towards the child acting too. Joseph Mazzello and Ariana Richards play Tim and Lex, two of Hammond's grandchildren who are here for the test tour. In any situation, these two could have been annoying or disinteresting, but both child actors really help you get on their side. So when the dinosaurs run amok, we don't want to see them get munched on. You feel genuine suspense and want to see them get out safe. I really appreciate how later on they try to outwit the raptors and don't do anything stupid. In different hands, these kids could be in pure peril, but it's nice to see them try and get out of the situation, and these two sell the fear very well. Though between that and the electric fence climb, I can't decide which is more intense. You have the choice of becoming raptor food, or playing a deadly dangerous game of don't veg on the electric fence.
We're going to need another Timmy!
And yes, this is the same Ariana Richards who was in Space Invaders, a movie we covered a long ways back. Fun fact, when Steven Spielberg was previewing the movie before it found an official distributor, he actually enjoyed Richards' performance so much that he hoped someday to work with her. And he eventually did! And as a little bonus, Joseph Mazzarello, post-Jurassic Park, went from eating poo-poo in Star Kid to betraying Queen bass player John Deacon in Bohemian Rhapsody! This is why I don't critique hard when it comes to child acting these days. let's take a little tiny nostalgia break and see what the 1983 Hype Machine did to this movie.
Jurassic Park will return in a moment on NBC.
In Jurassic Park, the place to go to satisfy a Tyrannosaurus-sized hunger is McDonald's, where something big is happening to your favorite extra value meal. Dino-sizing. For just a little more, get dino-sized fries and a large drink in one of 6 free Jurassic Park collector cups. Dino-sizing. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And now at McDonald's, dinosaurs come to life on 6 Jurassic Park collector cups. Get one free when you buy a large drink or dino-sized extra value meal. But hurry, before they're extinct.
Hershey's Fifth Avenue. It'll make you go.
It's the Jurassic Park Command Compound. With an electronic computer that says over 100 commands.
Best film. We need more firepower.
The computer helps you control Jurassic Park.
Got him. T-Rex attacking. Look out, cats! Fire the net. Got him.
Compound secure.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park Electronic Talking Command Compound. Figures and dinosaurs sold separately. Batteries not included.
Now, get $5 by mail when you buy the required purchases of Jell-O ready-to-eat snacks. And the Jurassic Park video.
Now, of course, you didn't want to click on this video for me to blab on about the humans in this movie. No. You want me to hear my thoughts about the dinosaurs. And let me tell you, after all these years, they're still awesome. Looking back on it all, it's kind of interesting to note how minimal the CGI effects are, but they still blend in very well with the practical effects. And it was pretty neat to see the time and effort they placed in just to see how these creatures would move and act in this movie.
And when physical appearance was required, you had Stan Winston and his team coming in with things like giant T-Rex animatronics and raptor suits. So it's not a complete digital fest, as you still needed something physical there for the performers to act upon. The T-Rex attack is a prime example, with the CGI element coming in when the puppet couldn't do certain things. But you're still impressed at how the practical element blends seamlessly. And speaking of which, this sequence itself is still iconic. You feel the awe, the wonder, and the fear in general. Here's a hint. Take a listen.
Boy, no, I hate being right all the time.
Notice there's no musical score throughout this entire scene. It just allows you to breathe in the moment. This is a giant apex predator. It's amazing to see it fully moving, but at the same time, you don't want to end up a snack to him. There's even a nice nod to Valley of Gwangi during the Gillimimus stampede. Now, there are moments of wonder where your leads observe the herbivores, and I'm glad they get to let those scenes breathe a little. You can just enjoy the calm moment of witnessing the girth and weight of a Brachiosaurus to the grand feel of a Triceratops. They don't feel too long or too quick, though if I did have to nitpick, the carnivores do get a bit more screen time in comparison. But hey, what's not to love when you have Newman from Seinfeld trying to make short talk with the Dilophosaurus?
It's always fun till somebody gets eaten.
It's strange because I keep forgetting how this entry makes Velociraptors the antagonist here. It's set up so well that you kind of forget about that midway. There's a lot of information and build-up to let the audience understand just how deadly they are compared to a T-Rex. These are creatures that hunt in packs, so your odds of survival are rather minimal. Unless you play your cards right and hope they don't know the functions of a door.
Buy an encyclopedia! Buy an encyclopedia! Buy an encyclopedia! You must!
Director Steven Spielberg knew this would be a major selling point of the movie and didn't want to let audiences down on the dinosaur effects. Originally, there was going to be a combination of animatronics and stop motion by Phil Tippett under his Go Motion technique, where a blur is added to make the animation appear less jerky and obvious. After tons of tests and even animatics of key scenes, Spielberg was still unsatisfied. But Dennis Muren of ILM came in with a computer test of the Gillimimus Stampede, showing what digital technology could provide. Movies like The Abyss and Terminator 2 really showed how limitless CGI could be, and creating photorealistic dinosaurs was obviously the next step from here. By then, computers were in, stop-motion animation was out of the job.
Don't you mean extinct?
Now, it wasn't a major loss. Phil Tippett was kept on as a consultant to help the ILM crew understand the dinosaurs' movement, and even a device was made for the software called the Dinosaur Input Device, which had electronic models guiding the computer on how these creatures would move. So it was a combination of old techniques providing help to the new technology. Even the original ending was saved thanks to the new tech. Originally it was a 1-to-1 fight with the Velociraptors, and John Hammond saving the day, while one of the raptors gets killed by the fossils. A bit too poignant for a summer blockbuster and not as spectacular. So a new ending was made on the fly where the T-Rex intervenes and our heroes get out safe. Probably for the best when you consider the T-Rex would have made its final appearance chasing the Gillimimus.
I swear I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but that was awesome.
What more can I say? When Jurassic Park was released in the summer of 1993, it was the talk of the town, providing audiences the amount of thrills, fun, and wonder anyone could ever ask for. Though, let's be honest. If it wasn't for Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg would not have made Schindler's List, his emotional and compelling look at the Holocaust. The agreement he had with Universal was that he had to film this first in order to make this artistic masterpiece. Though looking back at it all, it's kind of interesting to see how versatile he was, going from working post-production on Jurassic Park and seeing how the dinosaurs would appear, and then moving over to Poland to film this one. No doubt, both movies were successes in their own right, at the box office, and earning plenty of Oscars for the right reasons. Jurassic Park for its technical merits, and Schindler's List for its artistic credibility. In some way, I kind of want to argue that the success of Jurassic Park somewhat eclipsed the success of Schindler's List, but both movies set out exactly what they meant to do and succeeded for the right reasons that they were made to be. A thrill ride, a masterpiece, and that should not be forgotten.
If Jurassic Park ever gets re-released, I would not mind seeing it again on the big screen, because it's that kind of feature that deserves that honor. I remember seeing this movie on a double bill with Jaws at the Mendon Drive-In. It was a neat treat seeing two Spielberg classics back-to-back under the stars, but seeing this on a big screen with a killer sound system is definitely on my bucket list. Hell, if someone suggests to do it as a movie night option, I would be completely down to see it again. Jurassic Park is one of my all-time favorite movies. And why not? It's a well-made ride of suspense that doesn't take away from its ideologies of messing with science and nature. It's rare you have a movie that doesn't insult the intelligence of its viewer while still keeping itself in the boundaries of an enjoyable popcorn flick. This is what good entertainment should be. Final verdict? Don't just own it, but see it in a movie theater when it gets reissued.
Well, if I had a lame excuse to quote a certain Monty Python live tour, 1 down, 5 to go. Jurassic June has only begun. Let's hope the sequels will certainly fare better. And if not, we will always have Jurassic Park.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
4 years ago, a movie captured the imagination of the entire planet.
Go as fast as you can.
On May 23rd, Steven Spielberg will take you to a world beyond imagination.
It's coming back!
The Lost World. This film is not yet rated. Starts Friday, May 23rd.